Hi folks, welcome to this week's Inside Track, the Scottish Sun. Jim Delahunt here with me as usual. Jim, we've got the big freeze on just now. We're going to crack on that Warwick's going to be on. We won't find out until later on today. We're filming this at 9:30, so we'll have to wait and see. But Kempton, pretty positive update there this morning.
Yeah, we really are feeling a little bit more positive than we were last night, Robert. Kempton, nice update this morning. Fingers crossed that their inspection on Friday afternoon will at least take us through to Saturday morning. And fingers crossed the same applies to Warwick as well. There's all sorts of problems on Friday regarding even the all-weather meetings this weekend. And Kelso's off already on Sunday. I notice there's a yellow warning for the whole of Scotland on Sunday morning. So we'll need to keep an eye on air on Tuesday as well. But that's all in the future. We're hoping to get racing on Saturday. That's what we are concentrating on here. We've got an all-weather meeting at Newcastle on Saturday night, which I'm going to give a selection for later on as well. But the two key meetings for us, and our fingers are well and truly crossed after we managed to get a couple of winners last week, including the Veterans Chace at Sandown, which Nocte Volatis won from your selection in second. So that wasn't a bad day at all. I wasn't in on that gamble, but we did get 6-1 for Nocte Volatis, went off 11-4. We tipped up at a really good price. And of course, the nap on Friday was Ikaraka Air. Sean Bowen gave that exactly the kind of ride I was hoping he would, and that one at 11-4 as well. So if we are in for a little barren spell, Robert, at least we've got a couple of winners in the bank. But fingers crossed for Warwick and Kempton in particular on Saturday.
Well, we'll start off at Warwick, where the classic chase is going to be the main event. But we'll just do it in chronological order this week, Jim. Start off in the 115, and you fancy moon phases in that?
Yeah, I fancy this one for Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore. They were given updates, obviously, this week on some of their bigger stable stars and confirming that Derry Hassan Paddy's out for the rest of the season. I think we all suspected that, given what we can read for ourselves on the BHA website. But Moon Phases, I thought ran a really nice race in a novice hurdle behind that very good horse of Nicky Richards, which sadly we're not going to see for a while upon Tweed. That was at Ayr. He then ran chasing debut at Kelso. I thought ran a really nice second. He was off 105 that day. They bumped him up to 110. So that's a slight negative. But the positive, I think, is going up from 2 miles to 2.5. Lucinda obviously still runs a lot of very nice novice chasers at Kelso. Loves to get winners there. And I just thought Moon Phases with Derek Fox in the saddle, just worth taking a chance on, despite that £5 hike in the ratings. I think going up to 2.5 miles is going to help. So I'm going to go for Moon Phases in that race at Warwick on Saturday afternoon. And of course, we're going to talk about a Lucinda Russell there very shortly.
Yeah, before that we've got the Hampton Novices Chase, which is it's only got 6 runners, but a fascinating little contest with Weighed Out for Sean Bowen, going to be go off favourite, you would think. Will his jumping stand up to Warwick, Jim? I mean, he did. I mean, it was one of the rides of the season when he got him up to win at Cheltenham,
Really
but
was.
that was on the back of quite a few blunders and a few sticky jumps. You could probably see the same for Moon Rocket, who has got a tendency to finish second and was jumping right at Doncaster the last time. So. I mean, those two that are going to be at the front of the market. I mean, are they there to be shot at, do you think?
They're there to be shot at, but despite the jumping problems, you've got to respect Wade Out's actual form, and especially with Sean Bowen, more than capable of getting him round. Excuse me, just fighting off a cold here. But the horse I was interested in here, and because we've been keeping our options open all week, I did notice that this mare was in at Kelso as well on Sunday. Obviously, that's off. Hollygrove Cha Cha for Jamie Snowden and Gavin Sheehan. Thought won quite well at Exeter. Ran in that Carlisle race that we still go on about, but the form really hasn't been 100% rubber stamped. But I think Hollygrove Cha Cha getting the mayor's allowance here again, and I think it was you that pointed out to me yesterday, Robert, a really big price here.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure about each way value, but certainly worth small stakes. Getting that £7 mayor's allowance, but you've already pointed out Weighed Out and Moon Rocket has been the two principals. I would certainly not rule out their chances, but I just thought Hollygrove Cha Cha at the prices with the mayor's allowance might be worth a small stake. What about you?
Yeah, well, the 16-1 that we noticed yesterday, Jim's gone. It's best price 12-1 as we sit here. The other one I thought at a price was Doyen Quest, who
Yeah.
has a big experience advantage over most of these here and is 2 for 2 at Warwick. So if you do want to take on the front two, if you think their jumping's not going to hold up at this track, which is a real test of jumping, I thought Doyen Quest at 92 was could represent a bit of value as well. But I'm like you. I think Hollywood Cha-Cha, just with that £7 allowance, is an interesting contender in this. And then we'll move on to the classic chase after that, over 3 mile 5, where we only have 9 runners because the BHA brought in the new rule about horses running £15 out of the handicap. They can't do it anymore. Now, when they cooked this one up, I don't think a Saturday Premier Handicap is probably what they had in mind for chopping horses out the bottom. As it turned out, three of them couldn't get in because Presse runs off 162, wiped most of them at the handicap. But 2024 winner My Silver Lining was one of the ones that didn't get in. So it just seems a bit crazy, but there we go. The other thing as well is that there's a £500,000 bonus for this race this year
Yeah.
if you win the Grand National, and they've ended up with their smallest field in years. So it's I don't think their new scheme has worked particularly well for this race, has it?
It doesn't look as if it has, but it is an interesting new rule and one that we're going to have to keep an eye on. I can remember going way back, a horse of Harry Bell's won the Scottish Grand National from about 2.5 stone out the handicap. So that one would be a race from the history books if this rule had been enforced. But yeah, it's a shame for My Silver Lining, and I think the legislator Gold Clermont would have fallen into that category as well. Just the 9 runners, as you say. Long Press is the interesting one up the top. But Myretown, of course, I did say we'd talk about another Lucinda Russell horse. What do you reckon about Myretown's chances? Because in that Coral Gold Cup was up £15 for Cheltenham, fell, and they haven't adjusted that mark at all. So still £15 higher than Cheltenham. And remember, Robert, we thought that wasn't too bad at the time. So what do we think now?
Well, I mean, he's getting £20 in this race. I mean, he's racing off 10 stone 8, and he was given a Gold Cup entry this week. I mean, he's been a lot of people's dark horse. There's people on at hundreds and 66s and everything for the Gold Cup. Now, if this horse is even going to run in a Gold Cup, he's got to be going very, very close here,
Yeah.
getting £20 to Long Press. So the big thing is the jumping, Jim. I mean, he's fallen twice in his last 4 runnings. So do you really want to back a horse at 11-4 that has got that in his record? I mean, I think if he stays and he jumps round, the likelihood is he wins. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of ifs and buts there.
Yeah, there's a few ifs and buts, and the main if is definitely the jumping. And on that basis, I'm not willing to back him this weekend, much as I respect Lucinda Russell's ambitions and Peter Scudamore and Michael Scudamore's ambitions with this horse. And I do hope he turns out as well as they certainly think he is going to. And we're also thinking Grand National as well, possibly. Whether it's Gold Cup or Grand National or both, we'll find out shortly. But I'm going to put up one against them here,
I
Robert.
think we should. I think we should maybe say, Jim. I think we should maybe
Yeah.
say, Jim, he's not a bad jumper. He's
No,
not one that you watch through you watch through your fingers in a race.
no,
But
he's not.
he does seem to have these catastrophic. I don't know
Yeah,
whether he switches off or whatever it is.
yeah,
You're not going to be sitting watching him from behind the couch.
yeah.
But there's just no
Having
doubt.
having said that, Robert, he didn't lift a single leg going into that fence at Newbury. It was a bizarre thing to watch because I think Derek had got into a really comfortable rhythm with him, and he didn't ask him to do anything, and the horse just walked through the
Yeah.
fence, and that was his race over. So if after, okay, he's got limited experience, but if he's still doing that, I think we want to see him jump round
Mm.
again just to be absolutely sure. So yes, I'm going against them, and the horse I'm going against them with is Resplendent Grey. Now I mentioned that they haven't changed the handicap mark for Myretown, but Resplendent Grey got absolutely hammered in that Coral Gold Cup. Very disappointing run, was quite strongly fancied beforehand, but they've dropped at £1. So I'm not saying that's going to make much difference over 3 miles, 5 furlongs, but Resplendent Grey, I think they're persevering with this horse. And at 5-1, I thought that was the value in this race. Now, again, we never write off Mr. Vango. I just think Warwick could be a bit tight for Mr. Vango. That'll probably be proved horribly wrong. I think Long Press might well be a light of other days. I hope I'm proved right on that one. So I'm going to go for Resplendent Grey with Sean Bowen in the saddle. I think 3 miles 5 at Warwick will be absolutely fine for him. I think Sean will keep him very, very handy. And we'll probably be sitting on Saturday night thinking, there you are, Myretown for the Gold Cup. But I'm going to go for Resplendent Grey at 5-1.
Yeah, so what a round of jumping that was. It was spectacular.
Exactly, yeah,
But you
exactly.
just, as I say, I think the whole race revolves around him, but you just, there's just something nagging at the back of your mind. You want to see him get round again
Yeah.
before you get back involved again. So anyway, we'll go down to Kempton, Jim, 12:58. I believe you've got a selection in that.
Yeah, again, I'm juggling here. Yeah, Leader in the Park is the horse I like here for Ben Pauling and Ben Jones, the two Bens. I mean, what a season they've had. We're running out of superlatives for the way that Ben Pauling's been placing his horses this year. He's got some really good horses going forward for the big spring festivals. But Leader in the Park, despite the fact being an 8-year old, I think he's still very much on the up. Really nice run last time to be second. And I think that one is well worth getting on side in the 12:58 at Kempton. Just not sure we'll get a huge value price, Robert, but I'm tipping it up anyway.
Yeah, and then in the 2:05 at Kempton, we're going to have welcome to Cartridge. I think that's how you say it.
Yep.
Going off favourite here after winning at Sandown, but I think that sets it up for another one in the race. The Doyen Chief for Alan King, going back on a flat right-handed track. I mean, his form figures going right-handed are 1-2, 1-1, 3-3, 2-1. And over a trip of 3 miles, he's got form figures of 2-1-1-2. So there's enough boxes ticked there for me. He's a course and distance winner from last March, which wasn't much of a race, you have to admit, but he had no chance in the Coral Gold Cup because of the start. Then he was held up out the back at Cheltenham. I'm not sure Cheltenham's his track, but I think back to Kempton, the good ground you're going to get here, bit more aggressive ride. I think the Doyen Chief I'll have a right chance. King's form, maybe a slight red flag, but I was encouraged yesterday. He had one finish second at Taunton yesterday, so I was encouraged by that. So I think we're welcome to Cartches at 6-4 making the market. I think at 100-30, the Doyen Chief will run a big race for us. And
Okay, well, you've
then,
gone for the Doyen Chief there, and I don't think we're going to oppose Kalif Du Berlais in the 240, are we? Silviniaco, Conti, Chace, but well, dearie me, four runners.
I mean, it's poor stuff, isn't it? I mean, if we don't have more than 4 horses to run in a Grade 2,
Yeah,
I mean, it's 12-year-old Edwardstone and there's 2 9-year-olds. But, I mean, really, if Kalif Du Berlais is the horse that Paul Nicholls thinks he is, he has to go and win this. But
he has to.
is there enough holes in him that I certainly wouldn't want to be getting involved at 5-6.
No, to be honest, with the four runner race, I just don't want to be getting involved at all. I'm quite happy to sit back and watch it. I wouldn't even stick it. I wouldn't even be doing play spots or anything. I'll just leave that race alone. Much more interested in the Lanzarote handicap hurdle. What do you fancy in that?
Well, I mean, I think a pied in on for the Skeltons has got the right profile for it. But
Yeah,
I actually did back one, beat the bat. I backed that early in the week. I thought he made a good enough comeback for his summer break at Exeter. I mean, he's got form. He was only 5 lengths behind Jimmy Desroy in the Coral Cup at Cheltenham off a pound lower than this. Second, 2 lengths behind Imposed Twa that day. Second to Steel Alley at Haydock off 132 in November 2024. So he looks in the right zone for winning a race like this. He stepped up to 3 miles at Punchestown, ran a good enough race there, was fifth. But I think the step back and trip probably helps him there. He's not a slow horse. I mean, he did
no,
he did get beat a short head from a certain Golden Ace in a bumper back in the day.
yeah,
So he's not a slow horse. So I think it. I mean, he was 14th at the start of the week. He's 9-1 now. I think beat the bat would have a big chance. And Harry Fry's in great form as well. Since,
yeah,
since Boxing Day, he's got form figures of 1-3-2, 1-2, and his last runner fell. So. I think Harry Fry's stable's flying just now. You obviously have to respect Lanesborough as well. There's up £14 for that win over Willie the Builder. I know that one's come out in one since, but £14 is a big hike for that. But what do you fancy in it, Jim?
yeah. I was watching the bog racing at Foss Lash yesterday, and I noticed that the Philip Hobbs and Johnson White horses were running well. That gave me some encouragement, as if I needed it to back French Ship. Now, I got my fingers burnt back in a top weight and a big handicap a couple of weeks ago with the Joe Tizard horse, Alexei. Robert, I'm still convinced that race wasn't one to suit. But anyway, I'm going to weigh in with French Ship here. Callum Pritchard taking £3 off what's already a fairly big hike for his wins at Cheltenham and Newbury. But I think this horse is probably better than a handicapper. It's going to be proven one way or the other on Saturday. I think 2 mile 5 round Kempton in probably a quickly run race is going to suit. And I don't think we've seen the best of Friendship yet. So it's always difficult when a horse get 12 stone, but Callum Pritchard's £3 certainly helps, bringing him down to 11 stone 11. And I think Philip Hobbs in particular, I know Johnson White does a lot of the race planning, but Philip Hobbs in particular will be no stranger to running top weights and handicaps. And I'm pretty sure that he would have found an easier assignment if he thought there was one for this horse. But remember, they're running for 100 grand here. I think it's well worth a crack. Going for the hat trick was impressive enough at Cheltenham and Newbury. And I think that Friendship, the top weight with Callum Pritchard, just taking that £3 off is well worth siding with. I noticed 11-2. I thought that was a fair price.
I mean, the all-weather hopefully will be on, even if
Yeah.
everything else falls by the wayside. And you always keep an eye on Newcastle. So what have you dug out for us up there? Or down
Yeah,
there, the case may be.
I did actually manage. Goodness knows how we did it, but I did actually manage to tip up a 28-1 winner at Southall in the Sunday column last week. So I'm not promising anything like that, but the horse I really fancy at Newcastle on Saturday night is one of Jim Goldie's. Of course, he got his 100 for 2025. He's already got one on the board for 2026. And the horse I really fancy here, it's in an amateur rider's handicap, and it's a horse called Alpine Sierra. It is rated on Saturday, Robert, 53. Now, that is a career low rating for Alpine Sierra. He's now an 8-year-old. He has one of 67, and he has one over course and distance here at Newcastle not too long ago, just 13 months ago, of 62. But for some reason, he's been dropped to 53. He's run his last 3 races here at Newcastle over a mile, 7 furlongs, and a mile of 56. If you watch those 3 videos, he's staying on very nicely at the end of each of those races. He's back up to his optimum trip of 10 furlongs. He's got the best male amateur jockey, in my opinion, in the saddle on Saturday night. He's off a career low 53. Alpine Sierra is verging on nap selection territory. That is all I'm saying.
Right, good stuff, Jim. It's good to hear. Well, obviously we've lost Kelso on Sunday. Have you had a look at Punchestown? We've obviously got the Moscow Flyer at over in Ireland. Willie Mullins traditionally puts a good one in this. I mean, previous winners are Min, Vatour, Duvan, Imperi Pass, Mystical Power didn't turn out that great. Salvatore Mundi, jury's still on him, but Willie Mullins tends to run some really good ones. I mean, he's got Sober entered in this, the Queen Alexandria winner at Royal Ascot, which had already won a novice hurdle at Killarney before going to Ascot. Well, it didn't beat much that day, but you would
No.
expect that one to kick on pretty well. Free Spirit as well, which has come out of France, is another one for Mullins, and we've got Gordon Elliott had 2 entered as well. Port Authority and the Flying King. Have you had a look at it? And have you got any ideas for that race?
I've had a look at it, but I'm not going to commit till the Sunday column, and I'll tell you why, because I'm going to have a look at this race this afternoon at Naas, the Grade 1 there, where Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott are putting up 1 or 2. In fact, Gordon Elliott's running 3 and Mullins running 2. And one of the Mullins horses, despite being ridden by Patrick's already one of the favourites for one of the big races at Cheltenham in March. So I think a really good study of that race this afternoon, and just try and make some sort of connection to the form going for the slightly shorter Grade 2 at Punchestown on Sunday. And not a bad card surrounding that as well. So I will have a closer look at that for the Sunday column this week. But fingers crossed. I know there's a big snow bomb coming in over the weekend. I don't know whether that covers Ireland as well, but I think we just take what racing we can at the moment, Robert. And if we're racing at Punchestown on Sunday, I'll certainly be delighted. Fingers crossed.
Thanks very much, Jim. Good luck this weekend, folks.
Thanks everybody, and if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like.